Good evening, it's now 5:30, so I will go ahead and call this meeting to order. We do have established a quorum. We will be, Mr. Ramirez will be joining us a little bit late. So it is 5:30, and so welcome to this meeting. It's being webcast live and recorded. The recording of the webcast may capture images and sounds of those attending the meeting. At this time, I would like to remind everyone of the procedures for public participation in tonight's meeting. Members of the public are encouraged to attend and address the board on any agenda item or topic within the board's jurisdiction. Public comments will be allowed a maximum of 5 minutes per speaker and total of 20 minutes allocated for each item. If necessary, we will adjust the time accordingly. Speaker request forms are available at the entrance of the boardroom and can be handed to Ms. Gonzalez prior to the public comment. Regarding complaints, if a concern is raised about an employee, the complainant will be informed of the appropriate complaint procedure. The first step is for the complainant to submit the concern in writing to the district office, after which the district will begin the investigation process to address the issue fairly and promptly. Complaints involving child abuse or unlawful discrimination will be handled in accordance with the specific legal protocols. Please note that any documents handed to the board during the meeting are subject to public records request in accordance with the California Public Records Act. The board prohibits retaliation against complainants, and all complaints will be investigated promptly and impartially. Please be respectful of the meeting process. The disruptive behavior will not be tolerated and may result in removal from the meeting. Thank you for your cooperation. And if I can please have everybody stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. I would like a motion to approve the January 28th regular meeting agenda.
I motion to approve.
All right, and any discussions? Roll call, Patty?
Aye.
Sandra?
Aye.
Valerie?
Aye.
And I. Reports, we have the middle and high school reports of posts from John Muir. Natalie, not here yet, okay. We'll go on to CH, Jade, and Jason, please.
Good evening, and thank you for allowing us the opportunity to share some of the positive highlights from Corcoran High School. At CHS, ASB is currently partnering with our mental health clinicians to create lunchtime activities for the upcoming month centered around mindfulness and kindness. Along with these activities, we're also planning themed dress-up days that align with the message and encourage a positive, inclusive campus culture for them. Our clubs continue to be very active. FFA is gearing up for FFA week, so exciting, and the upcoming farm show. And students are beginning to care for the animals as they prepare for the summer fair season. These experiences provide valuable responsibility and leadership opportunities for our students.
Hello, good evening, board. Athletics at Corcoran High School are also going strong. Our winter sports teams are entering the second half of the league play this week, with both girls basketball and wrestling showing strong potential for league titles. At the same time, our spring sport programs have begun conditioning and practices as they prepare for their upcoming seasons. Academically, we have had a very successful return to school. We are preparing to recognize and celebrate students who earn honor roll and principal's honor roll with academic certificates, highlighting their dedication to their work. We are also proud to recognize one of our outstanding student athletes, Aaliyah Andrade, who will be signing her letter of intent to play collegiate softball. We will be celebrating this achievement on February 11th. Additionally, ASB is working on creating new music playlists to enhance lunchtime, rally events, and athletic events using the new Neptune software. Finally, this goes to Jade.
Finally, Corcoran High School will be hosting our second blood drive of the year, which is really amazing, this Friday at the TLC, and we encourage those who are able to participate. And we just want to thank you for your continued support at Corcoran High School for all of our students. Thank you.
While Jason's still standing, and we can acknowledge him, he is our Junior Citizen of the Year recipient this year. Superintendent's report?
Yes, good evening, board president, members of the board. Have some quick slides real quick, just to kind of go over as a report. So first off, again, congratulations, Mr. Lepe, on your, citizen or student citizen of the year, or junior citizen of the year. It's an amazing feat. And one thing I've seen him, when I go to campus, is all over the place, just helping out and very engaged. So thank you so much. And Jade's the same way, right? And many of the students are the same way. I want to thank all of the folks that are here in the room tonight. I want to thank our teachers who are here, and some classified. So thank you for all that you do. And some of this data actually might be, just kudos to you and all the work that you guys are all doing, right? So on priority one is one of the priorities that we have in our district, and it's ensuring that we are intentional about engaging our students, staff, and families on a continuous basis from the boards to the classroom. It's also making sure that we have a welcome environment. And so one of the things is there's pictures here. We had our support staff, which is our psychologists, our counselors, our LMFTs, go through a training last week, and it was around tier 2 and 3 of PBIS. So we already know that in looking at the data that our suspensions are down quite a bit, and also behaviors overall. Do we not have behaviors at the schools? Of course, we deal with humans, little humans every day, little people, and so we have. We deal with that, but overall, that's happening, and we know that that's part of it because as we walk classrooms, like I did today, we see high engagement. So students are engaged, right? As long as they're really engaged in learning, then they're not going to have the opportunity to do other things. And being a teacher of 10 years, I know that as long as you keep the learning engaging, then that's what's going to happen. So hats off and kudos to all of our support staff because they really dug in. And Mr. Hannigan, Dr. Hannigan, actually, that's on the right, and that picture is doing the presentation, has commented on just how much the district's grown over the last 2 years in behaviors. And remember when I first came in, the comment was PBS is broken, that it's Cheetos and everything else that kids are getting. We're seeing a drastic change in the movement to academies, which again starts with the teachers, starts with our classified, and then our site leaders. So thank you so much for that. Next slide. The next one is priority 2, which is ensuring that our staff have high expectations for each and every student by providing them innovative, high quality, grade level instruction so that all of our students can be successful, like Jade, right, and Mr. Lepe. So with that, this is a kudos to the high school, but this actually starts all the way at Bret Harte because our students who are in our system from the very beginning, right, they're building foundations all the way from preschool and going through their trajectory all the way to high school. But our high school is the one that gets measured on all of these metrics that you see on the right. So all those bulleted items are what go into the indicator that I'm going to talk about right now. So it's pretty comprehensive, right? If you look on the left where it says blue and that dial, that's us, that's the district. This year, the college careers indicator was 60.7%. We increased 14.3%. Now that's pretty substantial. If you look at the state's in green and they're at 51.7. So we beat the state, okay, the state average. I also did, as I do many times, geek out on data, looked at all of the counties from Kern all the way to Merced. And in that, we were the top district in Kings County. We were the top district in Merced, and we were the top district in Madera. And in Kern, there was only one district with the high school that beat us, right? So pretty much all the other schools we beat in this indicator. In Tulare, it was only one. So we did beat the big districts in Tulare. By citing Tulare Joint Union, our district beat them quite a bit, actually, substantially. And then in Sanger, or not Sanger, but in Fresno, it was Sanger that actually we beat Sanger, so that was good. We barely, it was really just Clovis and Kings Canyon, which is Reedley. They were the only ones, and Kings Canyon was 1% more. So we're like right there, right? And so again, hats off to not only the high school staff and some of them here present, but really it starts off with our students, many of them that start off at Bret Harte. So I want to thank all of the folks that are here tonight because they play a huge role. The last piece on this slide that I'll just say real quick is that graphic on the bottom, this all comes from the state, right? So this is nothing that we make up. This is the state dashboard. So it comes from the state. If you notice red, orange, yellow, we don't have any student groups in those areas. And that's pretty significant because what that's saying is that when students are at the high school, even our homeless and students with disabilities, who a lot of times in many districts are the ones who are in red, they're actually in green. And so that's a pretty amazing feat. The other thing is all the other student groups, even our English learners, right, are in blue. So, you know, there's our students who are coming from our community that are showing that they can do amazing jobs, right? That they can step up. And that's what they say. When I meet with them, the one thing they say is, Nurse Pacina, we want to learn, we want to be challenged, challenge us, right? That's where we want to be. And they're showing us, right? And if we could ask, I don't want to put them on the spot, but, you know, Jade and Mr. Lepper are two perfect examples of those types of students that will rise up to the occasion. So again, hats off to all of you that are in this room because you make that big difference. We get the next slide real quick. This is just to show college and career readiness. That's something that you always hear, the buzz term, right? Like we all want the students to be college and career ready. That's the growth over the last since 2019, right? Over time. That's also coming from the CDE. And if you look at the class of 2025, we have a majority in purple and blue, either prepared or approaching prepared, which is a big growth point, right? And the purple's actually gotten bigger. So again, that's showing that a majority of our students are coming out, they are being prepared, right? And we see that. And so again, just hats on people, be proud of what you're doing. And to the team there, starting with Mr. Larkin and all of his team, doing an amazing job. The next slide, real quick. So I just want to thank teachers. Again, this is a picture of some work we're doing in math. So when I came in 2 years ago, one of the common themes was that, if you guys remember when I did listening and learning sessions, was that we were using all kinds of different curriculum all over the place. Like one school would use one book, another school would use another, right? There wasn't clarity. Assessments weren't being like, you know, moved from like transitioned over from one school to the next. Well, this is a group of two cohorts, right? So these are two different groups coming together, all focused on math, from preschool all the way to high school, okay? And when we talk to these teachers, and I don't know if there's might be some that are in this room tonight that are here. Yeah, a couple, and they had a question that they were asked. It was about the systems. And one of the comments that was made, or several comments that were made, was that there's alignment, that there's clarity of what they need to do, right, when it comes to math. That this is probably one of the first times that they actually have done vertical articulation, where they're talking among schools, right? One even stated something to the fact that I never knew what the other school was doing until now, right? So that's happening, right? But that's with intentionality. So our focus is not trying to go after the next shiny thing. It's really about taking stock in a few things and really moving forward. So I want to thank our teachers here tonight, those that are even on that in those committees. Now that I see some that are there, they're doing amazing work. What we're going to see at the end of this year is that some will actually come back and present to the board. So you'll hear just from them, right? So you're just hearing from me kind of rehashing, summarizing what they said. But also what they're going to develop is something that's super important. Those teachers that are there, coaches, site leaders, are developing our vision for math instruction. And that's so important because what that's going to show is what is the criteria, what are the expectations for how students need to learn math in grades preschool all the way to 12th grade, right? So again, phenomenal work, legacy work, and I want to thank them, those that are here that are in that space. And there's more to come. We're going to continue to do this work. It's going to be really focused, and it's not going all over the place, but really just focusing and zeroing in on what needs to happen for kids. So thank you to all the teachers that are here. And with that, I have one more slide. So I just wanted to give an update. I'm glad that we have this audience here in the room tonight. And so one of the things that we've been doing is we've been in negotiation with CFA and also CSCA. But today what I want to do is just give a quick update on negotiations that we have. And our goal, right, has always been that we provide equitable and competitive compensation for our staff while remaining financially stable, right? That's the key. Because we know that there's a lot of financial instability, and we see districts within our own backyards that are actually in the process of laying off people, right? We see the reduction of staff. I just read a report that just came out just a few hours ago that just to show you and it's not even with schools, it's just with the economy. Amazon is laying off an additional 16,000 people, and they're closing all of their Go Fresh and their supermarkets, et cetera, that they have, and focusing on Whole Foods. Why is that important? Because that shows us the temperature of the economy, right, on a national level. And so here, I'm very thankful for the work that you've done, because you've kept us financially stable for a long time. And also thank you to our unit members, because we've tried to work together to do that. Over the past, since 2020, those are the raises that have happened, the salary increases, right there. Okay, so from 2020 to 2025, there's been 23% raises, right, in that time frame. What we propose to CFA is that there'd be a 3.38% total compensation package for them, meaning that it would be 2.34% on salary, which is actually the COLA that the state has set. So that's where the state says this is kind of the line, COLA, right? This is what folks should be getting. In addition to that, the offer has been 0.94 on benefits, so that's additional 0.94 to the total compensation package, right? And so when that 0.94 gets put into benefits, that means that money is also going back into salaries, right, on the back end, right? It's going back into people's wallets because part of their insurance is getting covered. And then the last piece is that 0.10% has gone to stipends and extra pay. So on this here piece below with the icons, it kind of teases out the proposal a little bit more, okay, on what it looks like. The staff and stipends, there are things that we've agreed upon and from the guidance as well that we've received. Like, for example, increasing the hour for extra pay, the hourly rate $5 to $55. For those that are doing special education, it increased $500 to $2,500. Okay, and for those who are also going to SciCon overnight, the 6th grade teachers, it used to be $125. And we did is we worked with CFA and said, let's look at what other districts are doing, right? And it was off, and so we went ahead and put that in there, right, to honor that work. And so I just want to give the board an update on where that's at. Okay, with the proposal that we have, just in salary alone, you would be looking at well over close to 26% increase in salaries since 2020. And so I want to make sure that folks understand that. The last piece I'll say, and I'll end with this, right, is one of the districts that is being utilized as an example of 4%. Last year they didn't put anything on salaries. It was a 1% off the schedule, right? So meaning that it was not on the salary schedule, it was something that was off to the side. So that district might have had double, like 4%, because they were working from the previous year. So that's something that people need to take into account as well. And so with that, I just want to thank everybody that's here in this room tonight, and thank you, board, for your continued support. The last thing I'll say, I lied, one more thing. As the last thing is that this month, is just a month we're getting everybody back in place, and today is this week is Kindness Week. So if you see staff, I remember I was going to mention this to staff because some staff were dressed up as ladybugs and coming in different attire. It's because they're really reinforcing Kindness Week. So I want to thank the staff who are doing that because they're creating a great culture for our kids. So with that, I yield my time.
Thank you. Board trustees, any comments?
I attended a middle school wrestling tournament. Was a 2-day tournament. Very great turnout at the middle school. Then the high school had their first annual wrestling tournament as well. When I was a kid, my dad was a wrestling coach. We wouldn't stop our tournaments till 10 p.m. These tournaments are so efficient now. We're ending by 2 o'clock and everyone's wrestling multiple times. But definitely John Muir's wrestling mats and the gym, everything was just top notch. And they did really well. I think there was quite a few placers. So congratulations to them. And JJ, looking forward to hearing your speech next week.
I'm glad they were a rounded board because wrestling, I've been scared watching it. So thank you for sharing what happened there. I did go to see the basketball games, so I was both at the John Muir and the high school, and wow, John Muir, varsity girls and boys, seriously, I kind of feel a little bit bad for the other schools we've been playing though. But it's such a pleasure to see the kids enjoying it, and that's what keeps them motivated to see these data growing, right? Same thing at the high school, the spirit that's out there, you guys, seriously, the games, both the girls and the boys. I remember when I used to play, no one ever visited us, nobody watched us play, but now we have people there, so thank you for that, I really do appreciate it. And Gina, thank you for the invites, because that keeps me on track all the time too, so please continue with that. I like it. And that's all I have, thank you. Okay, let's see, Corcoran Faculty Association.
Good evening, everyone. I am Roseanne Salcido, Corcoran Faculty Association President. It's the end of January and the fog is still lingering across the valley. It's been frightening driving to work and back home, especially for those of us that live out of town and stay after dark. Since the beginning of the foggy season, there has been a long list of school districts that have reported a foggy day schedule to Channel 30 ABC News. It seems like every district that surrounds Corcoran calls for a foggy day schedule, except Corcoran. Our whole district is definitely in need of a foggy day schedule. Students who walk to school have told staff that their parents are not letting them walk to school for fear of getting hit by a car. So they arrive late or they do not show up to school at all. We need to make a change for the safety of all students and all staff. On Monday, CFA and the district met again for negotiations. We did not come to an agreement. Teachers are not content with the district's offer of 2.34% on salary, when our superintendent is receiving a 3% in salary increase. We teachers deserve the same 3% salary increase. The district has the money. In fact, the district has over $18 million in reserves. What are we saving it for? A foggy day? Well, we've had plenty of those, right? Every year, the district asks for an exemption to forego the 55% minimum percentage that's supposed to be spent on teacher salaries. Where does that money go if it's not being spent on teacher salaries? Why not spend it on the teachers of Corcoran Unified? The district needs to spend money on the teachers of the district to improve morale, keep the current teachers, and attract more teachers to this district. Again, teachers in this district are not satisfied with the unfair offer, nor do we feel appreciated for our dedication to this district and risking our lives driving to and from work in the unsafe, foggy conditions. CFA and district returns to negotiations on February 10th, 2026. We hope the district and the board reconsiders the inconsiderate offer on salary and offers a fair increase that we deserve. Now, we do want to comment on this flyer that was passed out tonight, because it's not necessarily true on those numbers. We need to go back and look at the contract to see what the true numbers are from our raises on our salary. Now, the other thing is, remember that 2020 was COVID. So of course we're going to have more money in our budget because money was given to the state to help with recovering from COVID. So of course these numbers are going to look inflated. The other thing is too, if you look at the staff stipends and the extra pay, it looks pretty, but some of the information is not correct. We have not agreed on the ag stipend for 4% yet. That is on the table still, because we have to look at other criteria in order to discuss that at a later time. The other thing is that when we were in negotiations, CFA has always presented a printed document to the district at the table. The past couple times we have not received a printed document. We've had an oral kind of agreement, an oral offer. It wasn't, we were not given a counter offer, counter agreement on paper as we have been providing. We come to negotiations prepared. And honestly, the district has not been coming prepared with documentation as far as a printed counter proposal to give to us. It's just been a verbal discussion. And we've always been prepared with a proposal and a counter proposal if needed. Okay, so I do want to make that clear. And again, I would encourage you to go back and look at those numbers again. Look at our contracts because contracts do state the actual COLA or raises that we've received in the past. And again, that's because the money has been there because of COVID. We had to recover from all of that. So of course it looks pretty, but it's not necessarily accurate. I'm a little upset about that because, you know, again, like I said, it's not exactly accurate, the information. So I just want to go ahead and leave everybody on a good note. I want to thank all my teachers that are here tonight because of course we have to go home and drive home. Hopefully, I don't think it's foggy tonight, thank God. And I just want to make sure that everyone gets to work and home safely every day. It's been pretty scary driving home. Okay, there was one night where I couldn't see a thing, and I'm here late at night now. Coaching a club volleyball. I started club volleyball here in Corcoran for the first time ever. So I'm also doing as well too. And a lot of us are staying here late. Some people come here early in the morning to try to, you know, get ahead, get prepared for our classes and everything. So, and be ready for these kids. Okay, so, you know, we are risking our lives every single day as well. You know, getting here and going home. We do love these kids, obviously. Teachers are here supporting and they want to be here. So have a good evening and drive safely home. Thank you for your time, Corcoran Faculty Association.
California School Employee Association. No. Okay. Public comment. I'd like to remind everyone of the public participation procedures for tonight's meetings. Members of the public may speak on any of the agenda items or topics within the board jurisdiction. Each speaker is allowed up to 5 minutes with a total of 20 minutes per item. Do we have any public comments? No? Okay, thank you for that. Consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion? Roll call. Patty? Aye. Sammy?
Aye.
Sandra?
Aye.
Valerie? And I. Administration, consider the approval of warrant registry for January 16, 2026 for $696,002. Who's speaking on that?
Yeah, we just pulled this out because of there was one indication for trustees who want to give the option to be able to recuse or whatnot, so that was the way it's pulled out. It's on the consent.
Okay, so, all right, so then, do I have a motion to approve? I can make a motion. Okay, I second. Sorry, these things are a little bit out of order, different order today, so I'm getting used to that. Any discussions? No. Patty? Yeah, roll call. Patty. Aye. Sammy? Sandra?
Aye.
And I. Teaching and learning. Consider approval of the Relay Graduate School of Education for Professional Learning and Coaching proposal. Ms. Vargas?
Okay, if you could please pull up just a couple of slides. I also wanted to take an opportunity just to talk about a funding source that we've been really utilizing this year to support the professional learning of all of the educators within our district. So we had the benefit of being awarded the Educator Effectiveness Grant that was offered to the district between the years 2021 with funds to be expended through 2026. And so I wanted to give you a little bit of an overview of what kind of expenditures and things that we can use these funds for. And again, the goal was really to provide that professional learning and promote educator quality and effectiveness. And so it is a restricted grant, and so it's listing the things that we can spend it on. Most of them are related to strategies and professional learning, which includes conferences. It includes, purchases of materials that would help further those initiatives. So I wanted to give you an overview to know the proposal that we're discussing today. This is where it comes from. And if you go to the next slide, it's going to show you kind of our spending pattern. So at the beginning of this year, there was $418,000 left in this grant. What we have spent so far this year is 61 plus, and there is a little bit more that's been unencumbered, meaning, we're still processing everything related to those costs. So in total this year, we've already spent 79,000, which brings our new balance to around 338,000. So there's still a lot to spend, but we have a lot planned. Before I tell you about what we've planned, I want to share what we have spent that 79K on so far this year. If you go to the next slide. We sent a group to the quality teaching for English learners. We have supported the costs associated with the pre-K to 3 coherence collaboration. And that's the math work that we're doing with CalEd partners. We've sent some of our educators to the music conference. We sent another group to the Teacher Clarity Conference, and we sent a good group of our high school to the mathematics in PLC at Work in Pasadena earlier this year. So these are just a couple of the examples, but the funds related to registration, hotel, reimbursements, all of these things can be allocated to this grant source. If you go to the next slide, here are things that are still going to happen for the rest of this year. In other ways, we're planning to spend down that 380 that we have left. Earlier, we had talked about our proposal with JDT, and so some of the training and support services they're offering, we're also using these funds to support that. We've also purchased a tool for our coaches to use so that instead of running around with a bunch of different notebooks, they have a centralized location to keep track of how they're supporting our new teachers and what kind of feedback that they're providing them on a regular basis. We were able to offer our para professionals, one from each site, to represent at the CSEA Para Educator Conference. We've also set aside an additional 10K for them to identify other opportunities that would be related to the classified duties. And then I'm not sure if everybody was in the room, but Mr. Pacino was talking about our newest initiative, which is the Go and See district-wide initiative. And essentially, we've allocated enough funds for every single certificated staff member in our district to have a full day of sub coverage so that they can go and learn from other fellow educators. So that could be someone from Mark Twain going to visit the middle school to kind of anticipate what might be happening down the road. It could also be, there was a teacher who was really interested in a dual language program that's happening in Hanford. It could be our folks in the ag department who are looking at the other ag departments throughout our general region. And so it's hopefully a really exciting opportunity. It's very low bar. It's like, tell us what you want to go see and then go and see it, right? And report back to us. What did you see? What did you learn? Did you find anything interesting? And there is a competition. So I will publicly state that now, that the campus that has the highest percentage of certificated staff who complete a Go and See visit, they will earn a taco truck at the end of the year where they can do a whole meeting celebration of everything that they saw and they learned and are thinking about incorporating into their practice. So I think that's pretty good incentive beyond just the learning, right? But so all of these things we're able to pay for them due to this educator effectiveness funding. Which brings me to my proposal today on the next slide. Again and again, when we've been working with our teachers and hosting listening sessions, coherence and alignment is the biggest thing that keeps coming up. We want to make sure that the experience that our students have from preschool to 12th grade is aligned. It's continuous, that we're talking to one another. And so this proposal today is really focusing on building the capacity of our instructional leaders, which includes our principals, our assistant principals, our coaches, our resource teachers, everybody who touches instruction and supports our teachers. And so this proposal would provide some support to them as an instructional leadership team throughout the district to create a common language around instructional practices. And so we're anchoring that in observation and feedback so that when we're going into classrooms, that we're looking for the same things, that we're speaking the same language, that we're able to identify really high quality practices in one classroom and be able to say, hey, beginning teacher, why don't you go take a look in this classroom? We really think there could be some benefit to the learning in there. So they will be providing ongoing coaching. They will be providing a full day workshop or a boot camp, so to speak, for all of our instructional leaders. And so again, we hope this really continues to advance the work of alignment and coherence so that we all continue to speak the same language. That's it for me, but I'm happy to take any questions either about the grant or about this specific proposal.
The only thing is in reading the staff report. In reading the staff report, it says, we intend to use this grant versus obligated to this grant. So that kind of makes me think like maybe you're probably gonna move monies around, or are you just strictly gonna use this grant for this payment?
I'm
Because it says we intend to lever the educator effectiveness grant instead of, so that usually means intent means we plan on using it, doesn't obligate it.
okay. Yes, so we are invested in this development, and if we aren't able to use the educator effectiveness funds, then we don't have funds from another resource to be able to support this work.
Do I have a motion to approve? Can you go ahead and motion? Any discussion? Roll call, Patty? Aye. Sammy?
Aye.
Sandra? Aye. Valerie?
Aye.
And ayes. Consider the approval of a donation from the James J. Boswell Foundation to Corcoran High School for $35,000. Mr. Larkin?
You're gonna win that taco truck.
What?
Good evening. Well, we have the most teachers, so. It's on the side. So it's basically here. Good evening, board. We, Ag Department received a $35,000 check from the JT Boswell Company. We're looking at using that in the animal pens, electrical upgrades, fans. Before it starts getting hot for our animals. So we're asking you to accept that and approve it.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve?
Yeah.
So who's doing the work? Are we sorting it out?
Yeah, it's out. They got a pre-estimate. I don't know if that makes sense, but before they cut the check for the 35K, it was Gilbert Electric came out and Gilbert Electric came out and did, an analysis of what it would take to put some fans in some of the pens for the animals. All right. Yeah.
Did I have a motion?
I motion to approve.
Okay, so Sammy motion and Valerie second. Roll call, Patty? Aye. Sammy?
Aye.
Sandra? Aye. Valerie?
Aye.
And aye. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and step a little bit back. We have John Muir now, who's gonna be able to present for us. Welcome.
Good morning. I'm sorry. Good morning. Sorry again. Good morning, board members, the district and members of this. I'm sorry, I'm not good at pronouncing what it's just parents and community members. My name is Natalie Chavez. Sorry, I still get emotional whenever I think about it.
This is how we learn. I always get emotional myself. I know that.
My name is Natalie Chavez Martinez, and this year, the Women's ASB Secretary. Tonight, I'd like to share some great things that are happening on campus. Tonight, we will start off with academics. We are excited to be in the second half of the school year, and it's going very quickly. Last week, we held the academic awards assemblies for the second quarter. 385 students made the honor roll, which is awesome. Today, we hosted our second winter sports rally. The coaches of all four of our basketball teams and our wrestling teams would introduce their teams that was followed by 3 awesome games where students from all grade levels from grade levels got to participate and have a great time. Finally, we finished up with Mr. Gina and the JMS Drumline and our school spirit competition with sixth grade. Point again, that class is really showing off the school spirit. The JMS the basketball team are 4 games into the league schedule and are what's doing very well. The varsity girls team is 3-1, while the varsity boys team and both of the junior varsity teams are undefeated. It's a great season so far. I'd like to finish with a message from Coach Vega of the JMS wrestling team. As our wrestling season comes to an end, we look ahead to our league tournament this weekend with hopes for advancing to the weekend with hopes to advance into the Valley Masters and tournaments of champions. We recently hosted our annual junior invitational and we're proud to receive many positive comments regarding the professionalism of our faculty, the cleanness of our facilities, and the qualities of the wrestling mats. We finishing the season with 22 committed students, athletes, and we'll continue competition this week with dual matches today and tomorrow as we close out a successful season. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Natalie, and I promise you, it's gonna get easier every single time, and the more you do it, the better you're gonna get at it. You're probably gonna be one of the public speakers in a few years from now. Thank you for showing your support. Appreciate it. All right, so, just like she mentioned, the band, I love the drumming during the games too, so we're doing things. Thank you so much. All right, where was I at? Okay, future agenda items. The topic of personal matter has been identified for closed session. Do we have any public comments on the following closed session items? No. Okay. Therefore, there's
Future agenda items.
okay.
Would it be possible for us to review, the policy for the per diem, because most of our, staff members are going to training and then they have to request it within 30 days. I think they need to receive it prior to attending. If we're asking them to go, then we should be sure that they have the means to attend. And with that being said, it's already budgeted for all your traveling, so I don't see why we're asking.
No, definitely, and we can do that, just so that give you an update. We've actually been working on that policy because of our work with CSCA. And so that's coming in the loop as well. If you want to add to that, is that fine? Ms. Elbris?
Yeah, definitely something that we're make some adjustments to be a support for our staff. Thank you.
Also, the policy or the that we charge for our use for facilities for kids, I think you asked for that before. But see if we have a policy and bring it to the board, please. If we can get that reviewed.
We do. Thank you, Mr. Ramirez, for saying that, because I actually wanted to ask the board if we could entertain doing a workshop for about 30 minutes before the board meeting. So maybe we started the workshop from 5:30 to 6, and then we did the board meeting from 6. So it's a part of the agenda, but it gives a little time to discuss in a workshop setting. That if you all are open to that, and then we can bring it back, because there's some things we need to discuss. It's an open session. It's just an opportunity just to have like more dialogue from that. So if you guys are okay with that, we could do a 5:30 to 6 workshop, 30 minutes, and then start into the regular meeting at 6 o'clock, like a study session type thing. Yeah, okay.
Thank you. Since there was no comments for closed session, we can go ahead and adjourn at 6:14.